Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Paper Therapy with Amy. If you love all things paper crafting, you've come to the right place. I'm planning to make a 2-page spread today, and I want to use this 49 and Market Moonlit Garden paper pack, as well as stuff from my stash, and maybe even some Stampin' Up items. I'm waiting for an order to come from Stampin' Up, and while I wait, I was in a little scrapbook store last week and I purchased this paper pack. I've long been an admirer of 49 and Market, and I do sometimes buy their papers, but I find I like to have 2 of each sheet, and this I bought in a package and I don't have 2 of each sheet. So I'm going to show you today how to make papers go farther when you'd like to make a 2-page spread, but you only have 1 of each sheet. So that's a look at the sheets. They usually do a lot of the work for you. You can just plunk a picture there and you're done, but that's not the way that I'm going to use them today. If you're a 1-page spread person, like, you don't have to do much. You tuck some things in here. And I also got the laser cut elements. So what's neat about these is the back side is just like one color. Let's see if I can slide one of these out. So what they do on the back is just make it all one color. So if you don't like the printed front, you could always just use the back, which is kind of cool. One other thing I picked up at that scrapbooking store was this. It is for making an album, a 6x8 album, but I just really liked these titles and thought I would really like to use them. So I picked up, and these are all rub-ons. They come with this little stick so that you can kind of make your own designs on the background of your paper. So that really stretches this paper further too, because you can just use cardstock and dress it up and only use a few pieces of this. So I'll show you how I use, I'm planning to use this sheet, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use this sheet and stretch it onto 2 layouts so I can have a double-page spread. So I'm starting here on some white daisy, and this is my kind of focal picture, but this is when we went up the gondola in Banff National Park just recently. And so you can see here, I could just do this as a layout and I'd be done. Like, it's so beautiful. And I could just tuck a few things in there and stamp a title or rub on a title and I'd be done. But of course, I don't want to do things that way. So I am going to utilize this space here on here. So there was this kind of space that you could put a picture over, and I am going to utilize that. But what I want to also do with this is I want to bring some of it to the other side. So one way I thought I could do that is if I were to kind of create a line that comes all the way across, either on the bottom or on the top, and I haven't fully decided yet. And then I'm going to cut a piece off and have that line kind of continue across. And then I can stamp a title in that kind of space. So I'm thinking it's going to be on the bottom. I'm going to cut this piece off and I'm going to flip it and put it down here. And then I can even cut a piece off of here and continue it up here. And the only thing I'll have to do is camouflage it on the end, because I won't be able to come around the end perfectly, I don't think. Maybe, we'll see. But I do have another thought for that, because I have been kind of playing around with making my own geotags. So this type of thing. And I did see on Scrapbooking Quebec, she actually used some of these supplies, or at least some 49 and Market supplies. And she has a couple of geotags on this side of the page, and I really liked how they look. This one's a little big. But she got them in a little package that came from a 49 and Market collection. So I'm going to create my own because I have so much cardstock. Why not? And it's actually not too terribly hard. I think this video is going to get too long if I show you how to make these. So I am going to commit to doing another video right after this one. And that might come out next week or whatever, but I'll show you how I go about creating these, how I do the measurements and stuff, so you can do it too. So that is kind of my plan here. So I think I'm going to trim this off. It's a little scary, but I think I'm going to do it. I kind of have to decide whether I want that stuff showing on the bottom or on the top. And I think I'm going to go with the bottom, because I think I want to stamp a title in here and just kind of make it look like it just kind of belongs in here in black. So I think I'm gonna go with having it like this, which means I'm gonna come cut right here and I'm gonna come cut right here, and then I'm gonna have two pieces to bring to the other side. There. And then let's put these back. Remember, they're gonna sit even with the top. And then we're gonna slide these. I actually want these the other way because I like the lines going down like this, and then I can decide whether I want that one there. I think I want it higher up because my plan is to stamp right here the title. So I think I'll do Banff Gondola because that's what it was. And then what I have to do is do some camouflaging here to show that either I have to cut it even with the end, or I have to somehow camouflage that I'm not filling this in. And I will have a piece from here, so I could probably cover it up. Like I could probably put another piece in there. So let's do that now. So I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I could have some capping, but that's okay. I'll be doing that. So I'm gonna just mark it here with my fingernail. So that gives me an idea where it's at. So there's my fingernail marking, and that's at about just over an inch, which is fine. And then this piece can go right here because it's going to be the same width as that. Now all I have to do is just kind of camouflage these seams. You could probably glue it down and no one would ever see it, but I am planning to put a picture in here, so I think that'll be okay. So I have some Dina Wakley white paint, and I'm going to use that to splatter up the other side a little bit more as well. So here is what it looks like. And I'm also going to ink around all of these edges. You can see that I've used a piece of paper that I had done some stamping on and changed my mind about there, but I'm going to cover that up anyway, so I figured this is the best time to use this white paper. Yeah, so I'm just inking around these edges here, and that really makes it look like a cohesive layout, and it also draws your eye away from any seams that you may have made because you didn't have enough paper like I did here, because it kind of completes that line all the way around the outside. I'm bringing in some pieces of scrap paper to kind of protect where I don't want this stamping to go, and I've got some, I think it's the Close to My Heart color Mist, and I'm just using that to print up this paper a little bit more because it's not as kind of printy on the right hand side as on the left hand side. And then I'm going to add some to the left hand side as well, just to make it all look cohesive, and so I have the same stamped image on both sides. And by the way, this stamped image is from the Dream Maker stamp set. Now I'm going to bring in this Dina Wakley white gloss paint, and I'm just going to unscrew it and use the little stem to splatter onto my page. This paint works great for really getting true white splatters because it's really opaque. So a lot of times I find white items don't really turn out white, but this does. So I created a couple of geotags for this layout. One of them is from one of the papers in the layout with kind of a faded diagonal stripe, and the other one is just, I think that's evergreen paper. So I put my two photos in there, and I'm going to position them right where they are. And now I'm trying to decide what to add in that embellishment cluster. So I think these little evergreen trees from the Peaceful Evergreens stamp set that I ordered will look nice in there. I absolutely adore this stamp set, so I'm gonna try them out on a little piece of paper here, and in that evergreen, I actually think I used olive because I don't have evergreen, but it matches perfect. I stamped a bunch of these little rows and cut them out with the matching or coordinating die, and now I have a few ready to add to the page. And I think I just realized that I covered up a lot of my little embellishments right on the stamped embellishments, so I added a little bit more there so you could see it above the trees. I was trying the trees on top and underneath, and I realized that maybe I feel like they're a little bit too long, and I liked them more, like less of them showing. So I just snipped in between them, which is easy to do. I just kind of did a jagged snip so that it looks the same, and I'm gonna put just 3 there, and I think that looks just perfect. That's just what I was looking for. I've tentatively put some trees in another spot too, but they don't really end up there. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do yet. And I'm going to stamp out some of the larger evergreen images from the Peaceful Evergreens and die cut those and use them on this page as well. I think they're perfect for this layout. I like to, right here, you can see I've stamped in my Banff gondola title there. I had my head in the way a little too much to record that, so I just stamped it right onto that background, and I did it 1 letter at a time. That was the easiest way to do it for me. I have this sheet that comes from the Take to the Skies from Stampin' Up, and I'm going to use just a little strip of it. I kind of forgot here to bring my layout. I was in the zone and I forgot to bring my layout back into frame for you guys. So in a few seconds here, I realize and I bring it back in. But I'm just going to lay that on top of the edge of the blue paper. So just out of frame there. You'll see it in a couple minutes. The 49 and Market paper also has zip strips. So I have a black one here that I thought would be a nice anchoring color on this page. I have a few like the titles in black, and I'll be adding some other little black bits too. And right here is where I'm going to realize, oh yeah, I need to pull this back into frame so you can see it. So I've got this back in frame now, and you can see where I've laid those pieces of paper. They're not attached yet. The top piece of paper is the same paper that the little geotag is cut from. It's got kind of a faded diagonal stripe on it. I'm choosing things from the laser cut sheet that I think might look nice on this page. So I've got quite a few of those popped out, and I'm going to start arranging them here and there on the page. I also wanted to use one of the rub-ons. So there's one rub-on in here that says enjoying the view, I think. And the way that I use rub-ons, and I think the best way to use rub-ons, is I'll just trim them out of the paper. And then I can place them in the spot where I want them and rub them on so that they're permanently there. So you want to be a bit careful when you put these down, because once you put them down, they might stick. They're a lot stickier than those old Close to My Heart ones I had from a different video. So you just kind of pop them in that spot there where you want them, and you use the little tool to rub it down. And then I actually used a little piercing tool to kind of lift up. I was having trouble getting it with my nails, and you just peel that back and you have your pretty little rub on. I think it looks really awesome there, and it kind of blends in with my title on the other side in a kind of a black color. So I'll just move back into frame here for you and keep working on my embellishment clusters. I have these 2 tickets, and I really wanted to put them on the picture of my husband and I, because there's a lot of blank space there, kind of because he's taller than me. And so I thought the tickets were perfect because we went up the gondola and we did need tickets. So my husband and I and some of his work colleagues were, and another wife as well that you can see on this layout, we were up in Banff. We actually stayed in Canmore, which is close by. And for the first time, and I've lived in Alberta for almost, I would say 18 and a half years now. And this is the first time I've ever gone up the Banff gondola. I've gone up the one in Jasper, but I've just never done it. So this was really fun. We went up the gondola. The picture of the 2 of us there is us in the little gondola thing that you ride up in. And there's a little bit of a hike at the top where you can walk on all these kind of stairs and deck areas until you get to the top. And at the very top is, in that right-hand geotag, is that little weather station. It's very old and it's not in use anymore, but it's kind of cool. You can go right up there and stand up there, and it was fun to do. So I do have a picture of my husband and these people that he was having meetings with, but a couple of them were wearing shirts that did not work with my layout at all. How vain am I that I have to worry about that? But anyways, I do add that photo in, and just hang on till the end and you'll see how I added that in. You can see that I really wanted to fit in another little row of those evergreens, but it was not working out for me at all. So I don't know if I actually end up with any more of those evergreens on the page, that small row. I'm just using the larger ones. But I did bring in some leaves from the die cuts, and this is the only spot that I put the leaves in, but I really felt like I needed to continue this embellishment cluster to kind of be one large cluster with the title and then coming around the bottom of the picture of me and my husband there. And then with the geotags in the top right and in the bottom right, the little other evergreen, I felt like that made a good triangle. These little binoculars are from the rub-on sheet, and I wanted to fit them somewhere on the page. And I end up liking them the best, kind of tucked in by the title there and overlapping onto my evergreen trees a little bit. So that's where they end up, and I really like how they look there. I really think I'm going to enjoy those rub-on sheets. The images on them are kind of faded away into ink splotches. So they kind of fit in any spot. You can have them tucked underneath things or kind of fading on top of things, and they look quite neat. Don't you think that it looks like I bought a sheet of paper with the word Banff Gondola on it? But I didn't. I made it. That's pretty cool. Let me know in the comments what you think. So here's the finished layout, and I was looking in my stash if I had any black dots to put on here, like little epoxy dots or whatever, like gems, and I didn't have anything. And then I got 2 orders from Stampin' Up today, and one was delayed, and they ended up coming on the same day. And this was from the clearance rack. So this is the classic matte dots. I'm just gonna pull those out of there, and yeah, they're kind of matte. I wouldn't say they're totally matte. They do have a bit of shine to them. I would say like these ones are more of a matte finish than these. I don't know if you can see that. But anyways, I don't know if they're still there, but I'm going to put a few around. So I think I'll put one over there. And maybe one little one too. Kind of groups of 3. Maybe I'll put one up there too. And then maybe a few over here as well. Let's go there, and there, and then maybe I'll just put another little one down here. Maybe I'll actually do it over here. There. And then possibly let's have one there and there. I think that's probably good. I think that's good. I'm happy with that. So I wanted to show you one more thing. So this was a work trip for my husband, and this is one of the other work wives here. And I did have a picture of the guys that he was working with, but it didn't really go good with my color scheme, and I kind of liked these casual pictures better. So I tucked one picture in behind here on this came, and then I can do some journaling on the back of here as well. So that's just gonna stay in there. And so that is my finished layout. So I'm just gonna bring this up and show you how everything turned out. This rub on here is kind of over 2 layers, and that worked great. And I did some stitching down here. I poked the hole in the wrong spot, but it's not too noticeable. This is this rub on here. I love how it's just peeking behind, and I love how this ended up up on the top there on the white so that you could see it. Oh, my 2. And my splatters. I'm just really happy with how this whole layout turned out. And my stitching over here. So that is the finished layout. Hope you like it, and hit that like button that's just down here, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and I will catch you next time when I'm going to show you how to make these little geotags yourself at home. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time here on YouTube. Bye!